What's going on, people? It is Irish Connor HD here. You can call me Irish, and today you're going to be watching some Titanfall. It's a bit of attrition, and basically was just jumped in for a little bit to test out my graphics card to see what the deal with that was. Everything is set to max, and it's completely flawless as far as I can see. Yeah, but that's it. Just some Titanfall gameplay. I still very much enjoy Titanfall. It does have its problems still, obviously with the lack of a server browser and stuff like that, which is my main gripe with it. But as far as the gameplay, I find it very, very enjoyable. And being able to play it smoothly is even better. So yeah, that's the gameplay. Today I thought I would talk about age rating in games and kind of not necessarily about the practice of setting ages themselves, but like, so I work in a shop, in the gaming section of a shop. Okay, so I see parents coming in all the time looking at the age rating, and when they're not confusing it, this by the way completely boggles my mind. A lot more people than you might think believe that the number on the front of a game is the difficulty. I know. Like, honestly, like the amount of people that come in and be like, so what does this number mean? Is that how hard it is? I'm like, no, that's the age rating. They're like, oh, I do see 18 and think, I do think that it must be very, very hard because some other games are only 3 and some are only 7. I'm like, oh my god, okay. But anyway, yeah. So when they do understand that it is the age rating, the two biggest examples that I have to point out to parents is that Call of Duty Ghosts is rated 16s. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and most of the other Call of Duties is rated 18s. And I genuinely have parents coming in and saying, yeah, well, sure, I bought him the Ghosts. He's only 10, but I thought 16 would be a lot better than 18. And it's one of them things where when you work in retail, you have to like just not laugh in the customer's face when they say something so stupid. It's like, okay, right, and you've seen what he's playing, have you? Oh, they're like, yeah, it's pretty violent and all that, but it's 16s, and I'd be like, okay, right. But here's the problem with Call of Duty in particular: 16s and 18s. The only difference is the single player. Like, literally, that's it. And from what I can see, it's my boss basically uses this phrase that the opening scene in Advanced Warfare has a guy with his arm chopped off, or like one or like his arm like not chopped off necessarily. I haven't seen it myself. I haven't played the campaign yet. But basically, it's a really gruesome intro to the game, and that somehow makes it much worse than Black Ops and Modern Warfare and Ghost and that kind of thing. And it's just like, yeah, what about that scene in Modern Warfare 2 where you're literally running through it, like you're literally walking like calmly through an airport, just opening fire on innocent civilians? That's okay. Okay, all right. We're gonna say that that's okay. So yeah, like I don't understand this idea of like being okay with 16s and not being okay with 18s, because from what I can see, like Titanfall, I think is probably like a 16s game. Like the only difference between 16 and 18 is, well, I don't know it, to be honest. Like I don't personally know it. I haven't looked into this kind of stuff. But like I generally assume that when it's 16s, it's like violent or like bad language or everything like that, and then when it's 18s, it's like GTA where it's sexual stuff, violence, kind of bad language, the whole kit and caboodle basically. But like I don't know what it is. I'm torn between being frustrated at the kind of not frustrated, the word is I don't know whether to be annoyed or disgusted by the parents that will buy their kids 18's games when like they're admitting that, oh sure, he's only 8 or he's only 9 or he's only 12 or whatever, and they're buying them like GTA and Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty and all that kind of stuff. Or do I, like, I'm genuinely torn. Do I be annoyed by that, or do I be annoyed by parents that are like, oh god, he's only 12, so I don't think I'll get him this 16's game or this 18's game. He's only 12, he's only 13. I'm like, it's one of them things where if I say, like, I come out as basically a hypocrite in my own head. Like, I can't say that I don't want them to mollycoddle kids in a way. Like, I don't want them I don't want the kids to be like, oh, I've grown up to be like sheltered or whatever like that. But at the same time, it is a bit weird when you see a parent that just doesn't care and there's just like no interest in it whatsoever. Doesn't just maybe doesn't know, I guess. But I mean, how could you not know at this stage, after with how popular the likes of Call of Duty and GTA have gotten in mainstream media? How could you not know that they're bad like that? Like, I don't know. So I'd be torn between being disgusted by parents basically and just feeling like embarrassed for them for like, what was the woman? Again, I don't obviously not going to give any specifics, but there was a couple in, and it was unbelievable. She didn't want to get, was it Minecraft? I think she didn't want to get Minecraft because she heard about like the skeletons and the spiders and stuff like that, and she's like, oh no, that might be a bit scary for him. He's only young, and I'm like, he cannot be that. Like, come on, like he cannot be that, but like it cannot be that sheltered from the world or whatever like that he doesn't understand the concept of spiders or skeletons or whatever. Like it was just mind-boggling. But so like it's a really a thing where I struggle internally basically, where I do wonder, do I, like, what do you do in that kind of situation? Like, we need age ratings because they're just like, that's not going to go away. Age ratings are going to be a thing that exists in games. They just are, like, because for every parent, as I say, that doesn't care, there's the one that needs to know before they buy it. They need to know, is it a 16s, is it an 18s, is it a 3 or a 7 or whatever. But I don't know. Like, I don't think, like as I said with Call of Duty, where Ghost is 16s and Ghost is 16s and Advanced Warfare is 18s. I don't know. Like, it needs to be clearer or something. Like, it needs to be, if they're gonna have it, which they, as I said, they are. It needs to be more obvious that, okay, yes, this is 16s and that's 18s, but that doesn't mean that you should buy your 13-year-old or like your 11 or 12-year-old son or daughter Ghosts, but then like wince in horror at the thought of buying them Advanced Warfare. And again, I'm using Call of Duty, but like any games apply here. Far Cry, or like another one is people here say they heard about Far Cry and it was supposed to be terrible, about crazy lunatic and stuff like that. Obviously talking about Vass or whatever that blonde guy in Far Cry 4's name is. Like I do hear them saying that they heard that's very violent, and then I was like, okay, no, I'm not going to get them that, but here, I'll take this Call of Duty Ghosts pre-owned. And I'm like, okay, right? So like, it needs to be clearer that yes, this is 16s, but like it can't be in a little print somewhere on the back of the box. Like, I don't understand. I don't know what we can do, basically. I don't know what there is to do. I'm not in this department. This is not my thing. I'm just one of these assholes that points out a problem and doesn't point out a solution. But yeah, like, there has to be some way of, if you're gonna have this system, make it clear, make it so that people know that yes, it's 16s and this one's 18s, but like, here's why and here's the difference. It's 16s, but it's not. It's much worse than you probably think. You're thinking because it's 16s, they're just gonna say like, let's kick some ass or let's get the fuck out there or whatever like that. Like, for whatever, like for a shooter game, whatever. Like. And then people, just on that note as well, the amount of people that are surprised by the fact that there's bad language in the Call of Duty games. They're like, oh, well, I didn't realise there'd be any talking in it. I thought you just run around shooting people. I'm like, yeah, but there's a story mode. Like, there's a story mode to it, and like, it's meant to be simulating, sort of, not simulating, it's not armor or anything like that, but like, it's meant to be a kind of a representation of military life. And you think they're like military soldiers and stuff like that are walking around not saying, get the fuck in the door, what the fuck are you doing, this and that. Like, that was some crazy shit or whatever. Like, you like, I don't know, I guess they just don't think about it. I guess like, it comes to Christmas time, they buy the games, and that's when they worry about it. But it's one of the things where it just had me thinking. Yeah, it was definitely something that I wanted to put out there and see what you guys think. Have you ever not been allowed to buy a game? Or like, I know for us that like that work in the shop, we're not allowed, if you look under 18, we're not allowed to sell you a game that's 18s, even if you are, even if you're 17. Like, it's brutal. Yeah, like, have you have any of you guys have any input on this, basically? Because I don't have my full thoughts on it in a weird way. You can see that, like, you can probably tell by this video that I'm not really sure about what I want to say. Like, even as even as I'm making the video, I'm not really sure where I want to kind of go with the train of thought, because I just don't know. It's just something that's been sitting in my mind in the last couple of weeks since I've been working there, that it's like the big gap between the big gap that's perceived to be between like the likes of like a 13 or 12 rating, or sorry, like a 12 or a 16s rating, and then jumping up to 18 in some games like GTA, going from something like Call of Duty to GTA. It is obviously big, but for the most part, as this is another thing just before I finish up, but for the most part, it's all the same. Like, it's video game graphics. Like, these ratings and all this content and all that can be as ridiculous as you want. And from my personal experience and from my personal just history of playing games, I've never once thought, hey, I'm doing this in a game, this looks real, this looks really, really realistic, I actually am wincing in horror at the fact that of what I'm seeing here in this game. Like, it just doesn't happen for me personally. But That's it. There's some scattered random thoughts. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Again, please do leave a comment down below if you have any input on the subject. Sorry. Yeah, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here, and goodbye.